Hello everyone, this is Rick and today we are going to read about Indus Valley Civilization by focusing on the early Harappan phase of the civilization. This is my second video, and in my first video I have discussed about how the Indus Valley Civilization was discovered by different historians and archaeologists, what was the extent of Indus Valley Civilization, and how did the chronology of Indus Valley Civilization come into being. Hence, today we will focus on the pre-urbanization phase or the origin phase of Harappan civilization, and that phase has been popularly termed as Early Harappan Phase. The early Harappan phase focuses on the origin of Indus Valley civilization. When a civilization comes into being, it does not happen suddenly. The period of urbanization during the matured Harappan phase did not happen suddenly. So many historians tried to decipher the origin of the civilization. At first, E.J.H. Mackay said that people migrated from Sumer to Indus Valley. Sumerian civilization or Mesopotamian civilization is in the central part of Asia, and E.J.H. Mackay believed that people from there came to Indus Valley and settled, thus making the Indus Valley civilization. Mortimer Wheeler, one of the famous archaeologists in Indian history, has stated that since there was a contact between the Indus Valley civilization and the Mesopotamian civilization, therefore there must have been a migration of ideas, but there definitely was not any migration of people. Mesopotamians, on the other hand, had completely different set of scripts than that of the Indus Valley people, and also the layout of town planning was far different from that of the Indus Valley civilization. Hence, since there was no common thread between the scripts and the town planning in both the civilization, it is safe to say that Indus Valley civilization had an indigenous origin, and that origin has been traced back to the farming communities of Balochistan in 7th millennium BC. In my video of Mehergarh and North Indian Neolithic, I have discussed about these farming communities in Balochistan, which mainly focuses on Mehergarh. On the left hand side, you can see a picture of one such settlement in the area of Balochistan, which happened during 7th millennium BC. Hence, Amolananda Ghosh, a very prominent Indian archaeologist, in 1965 stated that there were some similarities between pre-Harappan and matured Harappan phase. He focused on the Sothi culture of Rajasthan. Sothi culture of Rajasthan is focused around the area of Ghaggar Hakra basin. Hence, he stated that there was a continuity, there was much common relationship between the Sothi culture of Rajasthan and that of mature Harappan period. Hence, this must have been the pre-Harappan phase, or later termed as early Harappan phase. Rafiq Mughal in 1977 compared a whole range of evidence like pottery, stone tools and metal artifacts and architecture also from pre-Harappan sites and matured Harappan sites, and came to the conclusion with the help of comparative analysis that there was an existence of early Harappan period before the mature Harappan period, and thus giving it a concrete state that there was the Indus Valley civilization had indigenous origin. People did not come from somewhere else and settle here. On the left hand side, you can see a picture of Muhammad Rafiq Mughal from Pakistan. The early Harappan phase. Here in the picture you can see major early Harappan sites along with the river basins beside which they were situated. This represented the formative phase of Harappan culture. This was the precursor to mature Harappan culture, which we know as popular, but before that this was the formative phase. It has a large number of sites throughout the Indus Valley area. It has a large number of sites, and the dates in each site vary from one place to another, but a general range can be estimated that the pre-Harappan or the early Harappan phase existed from between 3200 BC to 2600 BC. It had roughly 600 years of occupation. Now, this phase can be termed as the stepping stone towards urbanization, and total complete urbanization we find during the mature Harappan phase. Now, what were the few major early Harappan sites? In order to understand how the early Harappan phase was, we need to get into details about few of the mature early Harappan sites. First comes Balakot. It is situated in the coastal plain of Sonmiani Bay in Makran coast, which is the coast of Arabian Sea in Pakistan. This is a very popular site, and prior to there, when you excavate a site archaeologically, there are many cultural layers. Those layers have been termed as different periods. In the period 2 in Balakot has the cultural occupation of early Harappan phase. The pottery here is similar to Nal polychrome, where there is a site Nal named as Nal, which has a polychrome, where polychrome means different colors in a single ceramics. So the pottery of Balakot was similar to Nal polychrome ware. Microliths, humped bull figurines, copper and bone objects have been found from the site of Balakot. Since Indus Valley was a Chalcolithic settlement, hence it is very common to have copper and bronze object in them. Hence in the site of Balakot for the first time we find use of copper artifacts. Terracotta works were also very popular with beads of lapis lazuli. These are very expensive beads made out of the stone called lapis lazuli, and terracotta is burnt clay. Prominent shell works, as you can see on the left hand side picture, as crafts were done with the help of shells. Remains of barley and legumes focuses on the fact that these were farming communities, and barley and legumes were one of the chief food for consumption. Amri. Amri is another important site with a very distinctive pottery. It lies in Sindh, about 2 km from the right bank of Indus. So this is in Sindh province, which is the core of Indus Valley Civilization. Here period 1 is early Harappan period, and mud brick structures are found here. Sometimes the mud bricks are also supplemented with the help of stone. Charred blades, stone balls and bone tools are very common in this area. Fragments of copper and bronze, as we have said, this is a Chalcolithic settlement, hence copper and bronze are very much common. Wheel made pottery with geometric designs are typical feature of Amri wares, and in the left hand side you can see such geometric drawings of Amri pottery. Now there were also cellular compartments present in the structures which have been excavated, and these cellular compartments were probably used for storing of grains. Now Coddi is one of the most important site in early Harappan phase. It lies 160 km northeast of the site of Amri. Early and mature Harappan phase with burnt deposit in between have been found. Hence, meaning that between the early period of occupation during the early Harappan phase and later when mature Harappan settlements came into being, there was a break in occupation in Coddi. It is dated in around 3300 BC. Fortified settlement has been seen here with wall made up of limestone, rubble and mud brick. This is the first time in Indus Valley Civilization we find evidence of fortifications, and how fortification means enclosed areas to prevent attack or any kind of disasters from outside. And this fortification was done with the help of limestone rubble and mud brick. It had a division of a citadel and a lower town. Citadel is a place which is highly elevated than the lower town, and this is a place which was used for elite activities and also for storage activities. For if this all these Indus Valley sites were assumed to be prone to natural floods, hence storage of grain had to be done on a higher platform. The citadel served as that platform. Shell, bone, terracotta, and bronze objects are found in this site. Wheel made pottery decorated with brown bands of paint. You can see in the left hand side wheel made pottery which is decorated with brown bands of paint are a typical feature of Coddi pottery. Designs of horn deity, people leaves, and fish scales are very common in Coddi pottery. Coddi pottery is found in other sites also. Now, Levan is one of the main sites during early Harappan phase. It has been dated in around 3000 BC, and this site is situated in the Bannu basin. It has an area measuring around 450 to 325 meter. There are various types of stone tools found showing different stages of production. Now, when stone tools of different stages of production are found in a site, it can be assumed that this is a site where stone tool making was done. Hence, it can be called as a factory site. Factory of different artifacts, mainly microliths and heavy stone artifacts. Beads and bead making area has also been found in the site. This proves that Levan was a site where specialized craft activity was being done, and that activity was stone works and making of beads and other stone artifacts. Now, Saraikhola is another important site in the Punjab province of Pakistan. The period 2 here is mainly early Harappan phase. This site shows transition from pit dwellings to mud brick houses. Pit dwelling means staying by digging holes in the ground. So the early phase, the period 1 in Saraikhola, has pit dwellings, and later we can see people developing into making mud brick houses. Coddi pottery, that means brown bands of paint, pottery with brown bands of paint has been found here. Microlith cells and chisels are common artifacts found in Saraikhola. Terracotta, copper and bone artifacts are also very much prominent in the site of Saraikhola early Harappan phase. Next up we have Harappa. Now, when we are discussing early Harappan phase, we must not confuse it with the typical features of mature Harappan phase, where we find granary, citadel, amphitheater and all those things. This is the founding phase of Harappa, and this site is situated in Punjab province of Pakistan. This is one of the most popular or the type site of Indus Valley Civilization. Period 1 and 2 here are early Harappan phases. The early Harappan phase has an area of about 25 hectare, and it has been divided into two mounds. Both the mounds are with fortifications. Hearths and circular kiln has been found, which shows burning activity during this time. Burning activity may have been because of terracotta works, pottery or normal cooking activities. Pottery here was similar to Coddi. Charred blades, stone cells, terracotta female figurines, bangles, beads of carnelian and steatite have been found in the early Harappan phase in the site of Harappa. Evidence of writing has been found here first with writing on seals. One of the most important feature of this site, the early Harappan phase of this site, is that standardized weights have been found, and those weights have been found in many other sites of Indus Valley Civilization, proving that there was commonality between weight system and common contact between all those people. Cholistan tract. This is a desert area which mainly falls in Pakistan, and this area has produced a number of early Harappan evidences. The first settlements belong to Hakra-Wares phase. Then came the Coddi phase of culture. We all understand these phases by distinguishing it with the help of the type of pottery. Muhammad Rafiq Mughal noted the change in these sites, and the change was that people were nomadic here at first, and they settled down during the early Harappan phase. There was a large number of drop in the number of campsites, and the percentage was more than 50. More than 50% sites became settled. That was the observation by Rafiq Mughal. Sites had kilns and indicating specialized activity. Now, whenever there is kiln, there is burning activity. It is not burning for cooking, but burning for terracotta and bead making and other works that requires fire. Jalwali, which measures about 22.5 hectare, and Gamanwala, which measures around 27.3 hectares, are the largest sites in this area. So Cholistan desert sites are very important to understand the transition phase from early Harappan to mature Harappan cultural layers. Kalibangan. Kalibangan is one of the most important site in whole of Indus Valley Civilization. It is situated on the banks of Ghaggar river. Ghaggar river is the dried up bed of river Saraswati, ancient river Saraswati. The dates here range from 2920 to 2550 BC. The period 1 is early Harappan, and this phase has a size of about 4 hectares. This site is surrounded by massive mud brick fortifications, which is very important because a site of this much large area does not normally have fortifications during the early Harappan phase. Hence, Kalibangan is significant, judging on the fact that there was huge mud brick fortification. The standard brick size of the fortification in the fortification was 3:2:1. Hearth storage pits were found inside the houses. Now this proves that there was subsistence in agriculture, hence the excess food grain used to be stored in storage pits, and hearths were used for burning activities, mainly for cooking. Gold, silver and copper objects have been found. This is one of the most important discovery in Kalibangan, that gold and silver objects or ornaments being found. Kalibangan pottery was red or pink in color with designs painted in black or white. So this was a typical feature of Kalibangan pottery, as you can see in the picture here, that they were red or pink in color and they had designs painted in black or white. Now the most important feature of Kalibangan is that a field have been found in the south of the site which had evidence of furrow marks. Furrow marks happen when plow is run in a dry field. Hence we can find evidence of agricultural activities. The most prominent evidence of agricultural activity in the early Harappan phase is the furrow mark on the southern part of Kalibangan site. Now Kunal. Kunal is another important site. It is in India in the Indo-Gangetic divide. So where the Ganga and Yamuna Doab, more or less in the part of Ganga and Yamuna Doab, we find the evidence of early Harappan phase in the site of Kunal. Period 1A belong to Hakraware phase, 1B has Kalibangan wares. So this period shows continuity, this site shows continuity in occupation from period 1A which had Hakra wares, and then it proceeded to 1B having Kalibangan wares. There was first occurrence of sturdy red beakers and jars of Harappan style. Now the mature Harappan pottery has a typical feature of having S-shaped jars. So this was a precursor of S-shaped jars with red beakers and jars of Harappan style. This is very important discovery in Kunal. 6 steatite beads and 1 shell seals was found during the excavation in the site of Kunal. Large hoards of jewelry, almost like a treasure hunt, has been found in the site of Kunal, including gold, silver, lapis lazuli were found in the site. The bricks had ratios of both 1:2:3 and 1:2:4. So this was the most important site in the Indo-Gangetic divide, and the most typical feature of this site is that it had standard Harappan pottery and treasure trove of ornaments in this. Banawali. Banawali is situated in Fatehabad district of Haryana. This is one of the most important site because of the presence of mud brick houses with huts. We find proper evidence of houses with mud brick walls. Plastered storage pits has been found in courtyards where people used to store their excess grains for future use, and this plastering was done with the help of limestone dust. Kalibangan wares were also found here. Kalibangan wares are red or pink slip pottery with designs in black or white. Stone blades, copper objects, beads of gold and semi-precious stones have also been found in the site of Banwali. A cubical chart blade was an important discovery in the site. Thus, Banwali is another important site in the district of Haryana in the Ganga Yamuna Doab. Next up we have Rakhigari. Rakhigari is also very much similar to Banwali and Kunal because it is situated in the district of Haryana itself, and this is proving to be one of the best example of Harappan sites in India because it has continuity in occupation from early Harappan up to the decline of Indus Valley Civilization. Now during the early Harappan phase in Rakhigari, we find evidence of mud brick structures, and the settlements were also very much planned. There was wide range of pottery in the site, uninscribed seals, pottery with graffiti, terracotta wheels, carts, rattles and bull figurines were found during excavation in the site of Rakhigari. Lot of animal bones were found in the site. This indicated that there was practice of animal rearing or cattle rearing. Hence, animal husbandry was one of the important activities of the people of Rakhigari during the early Harappan phase. Stacked set of hopscotches have been found showing that there was existence of games which children used to play during those time, and similar games are played even today. So hopscotches like that have been found in Rakhigari from the early Harappan phase. Birana. Birana is the most important early Harappan site from the Fatehabad district in Haryana. This is also situated in the Indo-Gangetic divide. Period 1A is Hakra and period 1B is early Harappan phase. So in 1B we find evidence of early Harappan culture. A huge house complex consisting of 6 rooms, central courtyard and chulha was found. This house complex resembled the modern village houses with a central courtyard and cooking place with the help of chulha. The Kalibangan wares, bichrome wares and light incised wares and tan wares were found during this excavation in Birana. Hence it shows a wide range of pottery belonging to different cultural phases. Terracotta shells beads were very much common. Sling balls, marbles and pounders were also seen. That means we understand that along with burnt clay activities in the form of pottery and terracotta, stone activities were also very much prevalent in the site of Birhana. Now, what was the relationship between early and mature Harappan phases? Despite having an indigenous origin, it is safe to say that there was a migration of ideas as stated by Mortimer Wheeler. So, people had communication and there was sharing of cultural traits. Hence, outside influence cannot be ignored. Shirin Ratnagar says that trade with Mesopotamia played one of the most important role in the growth and decline of Indus Valley Civilization. Later, when we will learn about the decline of Indus Valley Civilization, we will know that many of the archaeologists stated that decline of trade with Mesopotamia was one of the main causes for the decline of Indus Valley Civilization. Hence, it can be assumed that one of the main causes for the growth of Indus Valley Civilization also have been trade with Mesopotamia as stated by Shirin Ratnagar. Olchin suggested that there was a cultural convergence. Cultural convergence means when traits of culture both from Mesopotamia and Indus began to be used in a same place, means there was sharing of ideas. There was social and political processes also in this cultural convergence, which means that as the society progressed there was more mature system of government, and that maturity led to sharing of ideas in the form of trade. Horn deity in several Harappan sites suggests that there was contact and communication as stated. Horn deity use of similar metallurgical features in the form of copper, gold ornaments prove that there was very much communication between all the sites in Indus Valley. Chakraborty says that copper metallurgy in Rajasthan was one of the catalysts of transition from early Harappan phase to mature Harappan phase. The discovery of copper in the mines, Khetri mines in Rajasthan, made the Indus Valley civilization fully Chalcolithic, and when the discovery of metal came into being, that time there was an advancement in infrastructure of the entire civilization, and that was the main feature between the transition from early Harappan to mature Harappan phases as stated by Chakraborty. Many mature Harappan sites, now we will learn about what was the problem. What is the problem to learn about early Harappan phase? When we excavate, we will see that most of the mature Harappan sites have the cultural layer of early Harappan phase under them. Hence, it is very difficult to distinguish the early Harappan phase with mature Harappan in the sites where there is continuity of occupation. Therefore, many mature Harappan sites we do not get to excavate by perforating the mature Harappan layers, and many of the mature Harappan sites like Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, they do not have any early Harappan phase. They were directly starting from the phase of urbanization. Kalibangan, Coddi, Amri have a burnt layer suggesting that there was a break in occupation. So as discussed in Coddi and Kalibangan, we find a layer of burnt deposits, which means that after the early Harappan phase, probably for a few centuries, the site was left as it is, and hence it burned out. Therefore, or there may have been some kind of natural disaster. Anyway, it is safe to say that the sites were inhabited for a few centuries before the urbanization set in. Hence, many of the sites do not have a proper early Harappan phase. Therefore, it is very much difficult to do researches on early Harappan phase in the sites where there is a break in occupation, and also in the sites where there is continuous occupation. Many transitions are always not that smooth. Since excavation is not being done properly in the mature Harappan sites to see whether it has an early Harappan layer under it, therefore many of the transitions are not always smooth, and we do not come to know a lot about early Harappan phase of occupation. Now this was the video about early Harappan phase in Indus Valley Civilization. In my next video, we are going to bring about the prominent features of mature Harappan phase, and also discuss about few of the mature Harappan sites in detail. So stay tuned and wait for my next videos, and as always support me for bringing brighter contents in future. Thank you.